Well, lovely to see you, Phil. I've got to say, fantastic news that obviously Larne are going to be in a final. I'm excited about it. I can't wait for Wednesday night. I guess as a player, you've got excitement in one side, but you've also got the knowledge that you want to go and do a job and lift a trophy on the other side.
Yeah, first final for the club in 15 odd years, and being part of the group that brought them to the final is a privilege in itself. We're obviously looking forward to the final. It's going to be a good occasion, and it's going to be a great opportunity to put our first stamp on the Irish League, and a couple of the boys getting their first trophy at the club.
Fans, obviously, it's the stuff of dreams. You talk about, 15 years since it's a final. I think it's 85 the last time that the club kind of won something in terms of a major piece of silverware. I mean, obviously, you delivered the championship. Has it happened even quicker than you thought it might do?
Probably in and around the time frame that I would have probably expected. Kenny probably has other opinions on that, but with the quality of the player we have, and how good of a team and how confident we feel at the moment this season, coming into the season after lockdown, all the hard work we put in during lockdown and the longest pre-season ever. But we felt like we could really give it a go this year, and we knew it was a good opportunity to put the first trophy in the cabinet, and hopefully we do that.
I know Tiernan talked about kind of getting you guys to the right habits, the right training, the principles, all those sort of things. And I know that lockdown was a really long time. You talked about longest pre-season, but was it also useful in all of you understanding what he wanted and kind of applying it day on day so it becomes habit?
Yeah, lockdown was a great opportunity for everybody to really find themselves, and it's a very good testament to the boys, because they're very, very professional guys, and it was easy enough to sack everything off during lockdown and not do the runs and the training sessions that we were given and pretend, but we all knew we'd only be cheating ourselves, and that's one thing about this group. Everybody's as honest as they come. But if it was a case of you weren't doing your work, and when we came back at the pre-season, you would have been found out, because everybody else would have been on top of their work and you would have been left behind, and nobody wanted that, because obviously everybody knew what a big season it would be for the club, and everybody wanted to play a big role in that.
I was looking back through your Twitter account because I wanted you kind of reflect on the year, and on January the 6th, you said that luck is when opportunity meets preparation. I guess we're kind of seeing that borne out over the past few months. You earned the luck because you put the hard work in, and Tiernan and his coaching staff are making you better players to make that luck, if you like.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in stuff like that. That people say that things happen by luck and stuff like that, but when the luck happens and the opportunity comes, if you're not prepared for it, then you won't be able to achieve what you plan to achieve with that luck. So we're always prepared. We knew it would be a massive season for the club, and we had our year's grace last year, and we knew if we prepare right, things would fall for us that weren't falling for us last year. Things would fall for us this year, and we can see that's coming to fruition. And then that's just true sheer hard work that all the boys have put in during lockdown and through pre-season.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so much progress on the pitch. Just quickly off the pitch, I mean, we've seen major kind of strides, and people's voice are being listened in 2020 like never before. We've seen kind of Black Lives Matter. We've seen the mental health debate. Do you feel as though people are starting to listen to the stuff that we should be listening to?
Yeah, I think it's gone that bad now that nobody has a choice but to listen, because it's the day and age we're in with social media, the way news goes viral very, very quickly and stuff like that. And everybody has access to these news droppings. And I think with the way the world is at the moment, you either you're ignorant or you just obviously don't care. But I think these things help everybody to see what things were like in the past and stuff like that. And I know these things are still happening now, and it shouldn't be, because I think the world is way too advanced for that. But it's good to see stuff like that happen with the knees and stuff like that happening at the matches in the Premier League and stuff like that, because it just sends a message to the younger generation that hopefully they can be the ones to turn the stigma around and like change everything for the better.
I get the sense sometimes, and I get educated by my sons on this, that they're better than I am on most issues, and perhaps it's educating people like me and making us change. Maybe that's the priority. I don't know.
Yeah, because obviously you react and you act with the way you've been brought up and the society you've been brought up in and stuff like that. And it's easy, like we're all human. It's easy to fall into the trap of trying to be one of the people or trying to be part of the group that are, for example, racist or whatever. And but like I said, the world has evolved a lot, and people are more educated. Because obviously, with education comes learning, and with learning comes you're able to make better decisions. But yeah, so hopefully now the younger generation like me, and even the younger generation than me, can put a stamp on things and hopefully eradicate things properly.
There's an image of this season so far, and it might be your goal at Dungannon, certainly from a personal point of view, but from, kind of on the outside of things, it was your celebration after Josh Robinson's goal against Cliftonville. Explain your link to Larne Football Club and the fans and the place, because I know I've read loads of stuff about you saying, I didn't know where the place was when I signed. And now it's like a family, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Well, with regards to the winning goal on Saturday, it was just one of them moments where you let all your emotions out, because obviously you kind of see all the hard work you've put in during lockdown and stuff like that, and you kind of see the rewards of it coming to fruition. And it just was sheer like uh, energy and stuff like that. And I just obviously I'm a quite emotional person like that with stuff like that. I get very like invested in the game, and but yeah, it's obviously a testament to the club and how far we've come, and we're able to win games like that and stuff like that. Obviously, we were full value for the win. We should have won by more. But even I think even if we won by 2 or 3, the emotion wouldn't have been that much. It was just for the sake that it was a 95th minute winner. It's always sweet to score in the last minute. But yeah, with regards to the fans and the club and stuff like that, and when I first came here, it was a new experience for me. It's a very small town, and obviously I didn't know how it would fit in and stuff like that. But obviously I found my feet, and now I have a very special connection with the fans, and everybody around the town. You go into shops, you go into supermarkets, and everybody's saying hello to you, speaking to you about the game and stuff like that. And little things like that matter, and little things like that show the town that just because we play football for the club, we're humans as well. You're able to have conversations with us and stuff like that, and people see that, and people obviously then now will cheer you on more on a Saturday. Do you know what I mean? Because they've just seen you in the supermarket the day before. But yeah, special things happening at the club, special things happening at the town. There's a huge bond now with everybody, and obviously Larne has a stigma attached to it, and a bad image of it. It's a bad place or whatever. But I think people from the town are taking pride in where they're from now, just due to the fact that the football club's being good and being successful, and hopefully long may it continue. Like,
how special a place is this dressing room right now? Because I get the sense it's a dressing room that believes it can win games even from the most difficult positions.
Yeah, dressing room, even when we're in the championship, dressing room's full of experience, youth, hunger, professionalism, has everything, like every mixture of it that a good dressing room should be, and a successful dressing room potentially could be. Like, so we have everything, and like I said, the lads are as honest as they come. One of the best dressing rooms I've been in terms of camaraderie and being together. But yeah, there's a massive belief in the dressing room now, and there's a massive confidence knowing that we can win games regardless of who we're playing.
One thing I said to Kenny is, and it frustrates me, is that when people talk about Larne, they talk about his money primarily. They also talk about you being full-time, and it kind of stops there. And no one talks about Tiernan and his coaching team. How good a coach is he, and how good is the structure there in terms of, from my point of view, making you better than you were when you first signed for the club?
Yeah, Tiernan's a very good coach. Very good man, first and foremost. But it's his attention to detail, his professionalism, and his willingness to learn and to improve as well, because he's still obviously a young enough coach in the game. And success obviously for us, success for him, success for the club, and we're all in this together. But yeah, he's definitely made me a better player than I was when I first came, because he sits me down, we're honest with each other, constructive criticism, there's no bad energy, there's no bad bad vibes between us. Anything he says, I take it on board. To be fair, he always asks me for my opinion on things as well, and he takes my opinion on board as well. And we have a very, very good relationship on and off the pitch. And he's definitely been pivotal to how we're feeling right now, because he pushed us through lockdown. Like I said, as it was easy for us as players to sack the runs off and stuff like that, it was easy for him as well as a manager to not push us. And but he pushed every single inch out of us, and even in pre-season, and obviously we're seeing the rewards of that now. And like I said, long may it continue.
Does it tend to work kind of good cop, bad cop with him and Seamus? Because I met Seamus for the first time at Coleraine last season, and he glared at me, and I was terrified. I got a smile a bit later, and I thought I was on top of the world.
Oh, good bad cop or good?
with him doing the gags.
Yeah, nah. To be fair, they're a good combination. They're a good combination in terms that they see the game sometimes in different ways, and that's obviously good, because obviously then they can have debates about things, and better conclusions are formed when two people have different opinions on things. It's not just, oh, I think this, oh yeah, we'll go with that. They're very open with the fact that they have disagreements sometimes about certain things, but ultimately Tiernan is the manager and the book stops with him. But the way their relationship is kind of feeds onto the players, and we can see, and we can see that they're a good team, like, do you know what I mean? So they've been vital to the position we're in now.
One question I've got to ask you, and it's one my son wants to know, because he's into his swimming and does all the weights and everything and the training. The physique is incredible. Do you do all your work on your own? Does anyone try and compete with you in the gym, or do you just get left with the weights on your own? Be honest.
To be fair, when I first came into the club and stuff like that, I was obviously I see myself as quite professional, quite dedicated to the game, and dedicated to the job that I do. But I don't think it was as professional as everything is now. I think people obviously might see me lifting heavier, and that might motivate them to lift heavier. I've seen huge improvements in the lads and how fit they are, how strong they are, which probably wasn't there when I first came in. And if I can be used as an example of it, then I'm more than happy to do so. And the way I learn from all the boys every day, they can obviously learn from me and stuff like that. But I just think it's a very important aspect in the game, especially due to me being quite small and me not having the actual physique in terms of like height and stuff like that, especially in the position I play and stuff. But you can make up for that other ways, and that's what I try and do. Like,
part of me likes to think that maybe you've got Marty on one side, you've got Tomas on the other side spotting you, but in all seriousness, how key has it been, this full-time thing and the strength thing and the conditioning thing with Mick there? He seems to have made a big impression in a very short time.
Yeah, it's scientifically proven that if you implement these things, that you will improve and you will get better. So it was just a matter of convincing the boys that it's true and stuff like that. And I think the boys see that now through the improvements that they've all made and how stronger they've all gotten, how quicker, how fitter they've all gotten. And obviously when you try things and you see that they work for you, you try it again, and it gets to the stage where you actually start to like it. And Marty's playing the football of his life at the moment, and he's just coming in every day talking about he's eating this, his diet and stuff like that. And it's so refreshing to see that a guy of that age is now, like, obviously he still has a lot in his locker and stuff like that, and he gives us a lot on the football pitch. But maybe when he was younger, if he had this education, this knowledge of how he should be living, I suppose, then maybe he probably for like technically wise, he's obviously too good for this league, but maybe it's the other side that's held him back. And but like I said, you live and you learn, and testament to him and the strides he's made. Like,
I just want to round off by talking about the game on Wednesday night, and clearly it's a big game. I said to Kenny, I get the sense that it's part of a journey rather than being the be-all and the end-all, because there will be other finals, there'll be other moments where you can try and think about lifting silverware. As I say, it's just a kind of stop-off rather than being everything that you're aiming and dreaming for.
for the fans and the people in the club that have an affiliation with the club, it's obviously massive for them, the same way it's massive for us, because they've waited 15 years to be in a final or and being able to compete for a trophy, and that must have weighed heavily on them. But for us, it's just another game of football, 90 minutes, and we'll try our best to come up with a game plan to win the game, as we always do. And if we implement our game plan and impose how we play and how we perform on the day, then I give us every chance to bring the trophy home.
Does it give you something of an advantage that it's not on grass, it's on plastic? Because I didn't know Seaview was plastic, but as soon as I found out, I thought, wow, that kind of plays into the way that you play.
To be fair, we're comfortable on both. Most of our wins last year actually came on grass, so there's no like, oh, it's we're playing on Astro, we're playing on grass today. It's just all the same for us. We go into every game with the same mentality of winning the game, regardless of we're playing on a good pitch, bad pitch, indifferent pitch, grass pitch, plastic pitch. But obviously we're more used to playing on Astro and stuff like that. But I don't see that as an advantage. I just see it as another game of football, like I said, and hopefully we bring the trophy back home.
And have you picked up on some of the bigger time teams looking at you differently? Because I've talked to kind of Premier League players about this, that when you know you're doing well, it's how people glance at you, it's how teams set up, what they try and do on the pitch, that you realise you're making progress because they're trying to deal with you rather than think about how they go about things themselves.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge praise for the work we've put in and how we're playing at the moment. To be fair with us, with any team, I think you obviously have to see the team you're playing, see what their strengths are, see what their weaknesses are, and you have to try and limit their strengths and expose their weaknesses. And don't get me wrong, we're not the be all and end all, and there is weaknesses in our team. There's weaknesses in everybody's game, but I just think at the moment now it's teams are more worried about us than we are of them, because we just go about our business and focus on what we have to do to win the game.
Last question. I know it's going to be difficult for you guys with no one in the stadium, because you've had a few people at Inver Park and that makes a huge difference. But the other side of things, I know how players' minds work. At least you've got a big family not pestering you for tickets.
Yeah, I've already had a couple of the boys on to me for tickets, and it's easy to give them excuse of that there's no fans allowed. Do you know what I mean? You have to obviously, if you have too many mates and you only have a certain amount of tickets, then you have a hard choice of picking who comes to the game. But with lockdown and there being no fans, I'll just tell them to go read the news.
But it's going to make that first game back at Inver Park, when people are allowed after all this nonsense, something special, though, isn't it?
Even with the way that there's only been a limited amount of fans in the stadium, I think there's only been 600. The difference that makes to us is massive. So I can only imagine when there's 2,500 people in the place, and it's going to be an unbelievable day and feeling, and just going to be a big relief off everyone's shoulders that all this madness is actually behind us, and I'm looking forward to it. And but we know we can't let the excuse of there not being fans in the final be a hindrance on how we play and on our performance. We know we have a job to do, and hopefully we carry that job out.
I started off by saying memories of kind of 2020, a kind of challenging year. What would be your moment? Would it be beating Glentoran and Linfield in the same week? Would it be the goal at Dungannon? Would it be that last goal against Cliftonville, or are there too many? Or is there a private where you kind of thought this is going the right way?
I think it was the Glentoran game. Was when we turned the corner. There was a lot of pressure on us going into that game, because we were at the back of a defeat from Crusaders. We lost 3-0 that game, and it was a very, very hard defeat to take. We were all disappointed. We had words. We had a meeting. We spoke about it, and we spoke that we should never let a situation like that happen again. And there was obviously pressure on us because we had Glentoran on the following week, and they were in flying form, and we had to perform. And the performance we put in that day was when we actually truly seen that we were capable and we're good enough to compete in this league at the highest level.
You've not lost a game since then?
No, not in the league since then. So it's good. Like, but you can see that that's when the way we're playing now. That's from the moment we seen like that we're actually. Do you know what I mean? We're a very good team, and like I said, we had our year's grace, but that's gone now, and we want to be successful as soon as possible. I know Kenny says that everything is a process and a journey, and I totally understand that, and it is in the long term. But we have a short-term goal now, and that's Wednesday night and bringing the County Antrim Shield back to Larne.
Top stuff.